I love telling stories from my mission. I love it. One story I have is me and my companion were out knocking on Newfoundland. And in Newfoundland, you're going to reach temperatures of negative 42 Celsius. And I think that's when it meets Fahrenheit anyway. But it's freezing cold, and the humidity just makes it worse. And we were out one night knocking. I don't know how cold it was. We were so cold. Our feet were ice. And I remember just praying, please, please keep my feet warm as we try to finish this street because I'm so cold. And this person was crossing the street towards us. And we stopped them and talked with them for a second. They weren't interested, but their big Newfoundlander dog came and sat on our feet. And as it sat on my feet, it was just warming my feet. It was so nice. And the owner said that Newfoundland dogs, one of the things they do is they sit on people's feet to warm them. And I had never known that fact about that dog. And I remember just saying a prayer in my heart that I was so grateful because my feet got warm and I was able to finish the street. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of hard experiences on my mission as well. My mission had a lot of ups and downs. I feel, though, that I was pretty blessed with an easy mission compared to what I've heard that others have gone through. But one experience that I had while I was on Newfoundland, especially with there not being any sun and a lack of the strength of the church, I found myself getting sad and getting down, which I feel like I might have gotten a little bit of seasonal depression or something like that. But I got sad and disappointed in myself. Felt like I wasn't succeeding and felt that I was not of worth. And I served and I opened an area called Gander on Newfoundland, and that was particularly difficult, where there was only about 3 members in the area, and they were all so kind, but it was still so hard. And I just want to say to those who maybe serve on Newfoundland, or even those who experience those down times on the mission, which I saw other missionaries experience, is to keep your hopes up, because there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. Help yourself, take some vitamin C so you can get some energy in you, but it's gonna be okay. I, during those down times, felt that I was wasting the Lord's time, and felt like because I was sad that I was doing something wrong, that missions should be happy and good all the time. But it's going to be hard. You're going to experience hard times, and there's going to be times you miss home. There's going to be times that maybe you're not being as successful as you feel you could be or want to be. But turn to the Lord. Try to fill with His love. Help yourself with that self-worth and trust in Him. And it'll get better. It will. Just push through it, because you can do it. Another fun story. I always like to tell this one. When I was out on the mission, I had the amazing experience of saving someone's life, which I never thought I ever would have experienced. But while I was in Maine, we stopped by this member's home who lived quite a ways from church, so it was hard for them to get out to church, and they were a great family. But we stopped by, and his head had been hurting all day, the brothers, the husband of the home. And as we were talking to him, he asked for a priesthood blessing from the elders before we left, and after the blessing, I saw that part of his face had seemed a bit droopy, and he still seemed a bit groggy, so I thought to myself that it might have been a stroke. And as we sat there and prayed about it and thought about it, we felt that he needed to go to the hospital right now. And he called his doctor, and his doctor told him to immediately go to the ER. He had crashed his vehicle on his way home because his head hurt so bad. So his wheel was broken. So, which normally you don't do, we drove him in our car to the hospital. And it was scary, but he had a couple of seizures while he was in the car with us. And I remember he said a prayer on his way there. And he just prayed for the safety of his family if anything happened to him. And he prayed to fill of God's love and to protect all of us. And it was one of the most sincere, heartfelt prayers I'd ever heard. And he was okay. We got him to the hospital. He was admitted and was taken care of and was out within the day. But it was a fun, crazy, scary, and spiritually uplifting experience. Being able to see someone pray in those circumstances made me question and evaluate the way that I pray to my Heavenly Father and what I pray for. So during that time when I was on Newfoundland and was feeling really down and depressed, we had the opportunity of going to Nova Scotia and going to a leadership conference. And while I was there, I met up with one of my past companions, and we chatted, and I told her about what I was experiencing, and it was good to get it all out. And we'd stayed up late talking, and then before we went to bed, we both got on our knees. And as we knelt there and we prayed, I felt something that I'd never felt before as I knelt down and prayed. And it was so powerful and uplifting. And it was just this peace that made me feel like the light at the end of the tunnel was coming, that this depression I was feeling was going to be gone, and that even though I might not have felt as successful as I wanted to be, that God still loved me and cared about me. And I felt that He was listening and was there. And I feel like I felt the strength of my old companion's prayer too. As she was praying, it was just this incredible experience where both of us felt empowered and embodied in God's love and strength. Another spiritual experience / advice that I was given and want to give to you is praying out loud to your Heavenly Father. I had an elder who really emphasized to pray out loud every single night. So I started doing that. Every single night I would go in a private place and I would pray out loud. And I can't even explain the strength and the focus that you have while praying out loud. It helped me a lot, and I know it's helped others as I've heard their testimonies of praying out loud. So pray out loud to your Heavenly Father. It'll bring a needed focus and strength to your prayers as it did to mine.